Hello everyone, and welcome to the Grey Bruce Children's Water Festival. My name is Caroline, and I'm here to tell you about how our actions in both rural and urban areas can have an effect on a variety of habitats. This activity falls under one of our 5 very important messages: water protection. As we do this activity, please try to think about how protecting our water source is important in your life, when you're at school, at home, playing with friends, or wherever you are. Many people point to industry and agriculture as the major sources of pollution, and while it is easy to assume these have the most impact, the actions that each of us do in our own backyard can affect the environment and pollute our water as well. For example, using pesticides or dumping oil and chemicals on the ground can have a significant environmental impact. There are simple alternatives to this, like weeding by hand and using household hazardous waste collection programs that don't contribute to pollution. This model shows how our actions in both rural areas and urban areas can have an effect on a variety of habitats. Today, we are going to learn how the things we put on the ground can pollute our water. We will also learn how we can reduce pollution to help protect the groundwater. Here, we have a model of a town and a farm. What do you see? There is a lake, a river, houses, trees, storm drain, bridges, farmers' fields, etc. How many of you live in the country? Or what about in a town? I think we need to have the people in this town and on this farm do some work. Let's add some things to the model to show what they've been up to. First, let's look at the town. What do some people use to get rid of weeds on their lawn? That's right, a group of chemicals called herbicides. This is going to represent herbicides in this model. Now, what do some people use on their yard to help plants grow? You're right again, fertilizer. Lastly, what liquid is in our cars that we have to change every few months? You're going to learn about this in another activity. This will be our oil from a car or lawnmower or other motorized vehicle. What do you think would happen if these chemicals got into the water we drink and where fish and animals live? Think about it, and we'll see what happens in just a few minutes. Now, let's look on the farm. When farmers plow their fields to plant crops, what do they dig up? Yep, they dig up the ground and soil. This is going to represent soil on farmers' fields. Okay, you should all know this one. What do animals make a lot of after they digest their food? Of course, manure. This will be our manure from the farmer's animals. What do you think happens if lots of soil, dirt, and manure gets into the water we drink and where the fish and animals live? Think about this as we make it rain. Watch what happens to all of our pollutants. Remember, we have herbicides, fertilizers, and oil from the town, as well as soil, dirt, and manure from the farm. Oh no, look at how dirty our water is. When it rained, the soil was eroded, and the pesticides and fertilizer and manure and oil all leaked into the water. So what are some ways we can prevent our lakes from getting this dirty? You've got it. Don't use herbicides, don't over-fertilize, don't pour chemicals in a storm drain, use a ground cover to prevent soil erosion, and store animal manure in a tank. These are just some of the things you can do to help keep our water clean. Now, let's try this again, but let's use some of our solutions to help protect our water. This time, we are not going to use any herbicides or fertilizers, so I'm not going to add these. We're not going to dump any oil down the storm drain, so let's put that away too. Now, we are going to add some ground cover or grass around the lake. This is going to help prevent soil erosion and fertilizer or manure runoff. And lastly, we're going to store the manure in a tank. Let's make it rain again and see what happens this time. Wow, look how clean the water is in our lake and river now that we have put our changes in place. Is that what you expected? Whether you live in an urban area like a town or a rural area like on a farm, everybody has work to do on protecting our water, and especially in your own backyards. Many farmers are protecting the environment by making environmental farm plans or nutrient management plans and strategies, which include farming practices that help protect our land and water. Talk to your family tonight about what you can change in your backyard to help protect our water too. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your Water Festival activities.